Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're diving into a topic that every single educator and parent has bumped up against. Why do students struggle so much with self-regulation? And, more importantly, what if the way we usually think about it is actually part of the problem?
Yeah, you've probably thought this, right? Maybe even said it out loud when a student acts out or just doesn't seem to be listening. It's a really natural reaction. Or hey, maybe this one sounds familiar. You feel that frustration start to build when you see a behavior pop up that you thought a student had, grown out of. And then there's this one, which is maybe the most common belief of all, that it all just boils down to choice, that a lack of self-control is some kind of moral failing.
Okay, but what if we've been looking at this completely wrong? What if the real issue isn't about willpower at all, but about brain development?
All right, so first up, we've got to take apart this huge myth. The idea that self-regulation is just a character trait, something that students either have or they don't. And this is absolutely critical. See, if we believe a student is choosing to misbehave, what's our go-to response? Consequences, right? Punishment. But here's the thing. That approach often just makes everything worse because it completely misses the root cause. So, if it's not really a choice, then what is going on? Well, the answer lies deep inside the brain's incredible and still developing management system. You know, when we use the term self-regulation, it's not just one thing. It's actually a whole collection of really sophisticated skills. Everything from taking that split-second pause before reacting to bouncing back after a mistake. And all of these skills, they fall under this big umbrella called executive function. You can totally think of it like the CEO of the brain, the part that's supposed to be making all the high-level decisions that help us get through the day. And, this air traffic control analogy, it is just perfect, seriously. Just like that control tower is managing all the planes coming and going to avoid collisions, our executive function is managing all their thoughts and actions to keep things running smoothly. And this is the real kicker. We're asking students to use a part of their brain that is literally still under construction. For a 7-year-old, the foundation is barely poured. For a teenager, maybe the frame is up, but all the wiring is still exposed. It's not a matter of won't, it's very often a matter of can't. The system simply isn't finished yet. So this leads to a really interesting question, right? Why can some students seem to have it all together one moment and then completely fall apart the next? Well, the answer has pretty much everything to do with stress. Just stop and think about a typical school day. The constant transitions, the social pressures, the cognitive demand of learning new things, even just the noise in the classroom, these are all stressors that can totally overload a developing brain. This visual of the seesaw is just brilliant, isn't it? It's exactly what's happening. As that stress level goes up, the ability to access self-regulation goes way down. It's a simple equation that explains so much of that inconsistent behavior we see. Okay, so knowing all this, how does it change things? How should we shift our approach? Let's talk about moving from expecting regulation to actively supporting it. Honestly, if you take away just one thing, let it be this right here. We have to flip our whole mindset. Stop expecting students to just have these skills already and start assuming they're still building them and that they need our help to do it. So what does that actually look like in a real classroom? What do? Well, it's way less about controlling their behavior and a whole lot more about building up their capacity.
So how do we pull this off? Here are 4 strategies that can totally change the game. And they all shift the focus from trying to control kids to actually building their skills.
This point is so important. Things like visual schedules and predictable routines, they're like a cheat code for a developing brain. They free up so much mental energy that can then be used for learning and, you guessed it, self-regulation. It's not about control, it's all about support.
And it's also really crucial to get why punishment so often backfires. Instead of teaching the skill we want to see, it just piles on more stress. And what do we just learn? Stress shuts down executive function. It can trigger that fight or flight response, and there's just no way a student can learn when they're in that state. So when you put it all together, looking at student behavior through this new lens, it really does reframe everything. Behavior isn't defiance, it's feedback. And our job isn't just to react to it, but to actually teach the skills students need to succeed. And that leaves us with this one really powerful question to think about. When we stop seeing a student's struggle as a problem we have to control, and we start seeing it as them trying to communicate something to us, well,
our whole role changes, doesn't it? We become less of a manager and more of a capacity builder, helping them construct that control tower one piece at a time.